If any kind of advice, I would say to just keep going, because I've been in the position of whether it's struggling financially or working hard and not seeing a result or whatever it is. And me and Nick always just said to each other, it's there. We're just not there yet. So we have
There's
to
yours
just
right there. Hey, clip that up right
So
there. Make that
we just have to keep going and keep doing the right thing. Like Brian says, you can't always do the right thing and get the wrong results.
Come on. What's up, everybody? It's Tre Tipton back again on Tre'd Talk. We are here with a bunch of incredible men, man. We're here to have fun, here to have great conversations. Man, can we please tell the world on who we are? Let's start here.
So I'm Anthony Abbruzzese, from New York, concrete polishing contractor. That's it.
Monkey, tell the world who you are, Monkey.
Hi, Anthony. My name is Walz. I run a company called Wire Monkey. I am the monkey. I do low voltage wiring. I do sound systems, camera systems. If you need, I'll build you a restaurant, build you a bar. I've built 9 bars, 3 hookah shops, 2 smoke shops. So we
I love
kind
the
of can do
advertisement.
everything.
I love the advertisement because I'd have set it up the same way. So that was a smart move. Now we got the last Abbruzzese brother. Tell them who
Yes,
you are,
sir.
boss.
Nick Abbruzzese, Anthony's brother, also from Long Island. We are a part of a family-owned business that does concrete polishing, epoxy systems, and self-leveling. We work in Manhattan every single day, and it's a beast, but we wouldn't change it for anything, man. We love it.
I love to hear that, man. I love to hear that, man. Well, I got a couple questions for you guys. We're here to have fun. At the end of the day, that's what we want to do and be able to showcase who you guys are on Tre'd Talk. On Tre'd Talk, here's the thing. I have no idea on anything involving construction or contracting, but what's funny is all of my uncles are in contracting. All of my dad's in asbestos, right? So that's their lifestyle. That's what they're in. And asbestos, as you know, can be a very rough on the body, especially on the lungs, just due to the fact that you're dealing with a lot of black mold, a lot of different things. So I want to know from all three of you, man, like who got you guys into the contracting industry? We can start here, my man, the oldest Abbruzzese. Talk that talk. Let me hear what you got to say.
So for us, our dad got us started in it, and he was originally a landscaper. So we have memories of going in the back of his pickup trucks and dump trucks and going on job sites, just like riding around with him, going to pick up, trees at the nursery and everything like that. Then eventually he got out of that because of how seasonal it was and went into flooring. From there, we just started working with him all the time and eventually kept going, and just turned it into a full-time thing right after college. We both were reluctant on going to college, and then right when we got out of it, we immediately knew that we were going right with Dad.
What'd you go to school for?
Political science.
Man, so you ain't doing not a dang thing.
No. Fucking college taught me how to write an email. That was about it.
Come on, man.
That was it, dude.
I used to tell people all the time, bro, you go to college to do one thing and one thing only, network. That's it. Like, unless you're going to be a doctor or something along those lines, bro, you're there to network and to hopefully meet somebody who's going to make more money than you one day and be able to connect with them in the future and be like, hey, you got some money over there for me. You know what I mean? I went to college for 7 years and have not used not a single one of my degrees. So
not a single one of my degrees.
Went to school for 7 years and don't use not jack anything of those degrees, man. I'm in a paving company.
Same with me. I put my headphones in and I just walked right to from class to class. I didn't do any of that. So I regret doing that for sure. Not doing the networking like you're saying.
Oh, you had to network, man. And that's the thing that you learn in college, bro. I know my man Wire Monkey went to 10 different colleges, so I'm going to need you to explain that a little bit here in a second. But ultimately, man, it's one of those things where not enough kids really get the chance to hear it, right? I used to tell kids all the time where if you're going to go into contracting or you're going to go work a job, you have 2 options in life, right? Like, you're going to work for the majority of your life anyway, right? So if you're going to go to college to have fun, but also to be able to experience what it's like to be an adult away from your parents, because that's when you learn kind of on who you are, right? And then you also learn about the things that your parents told you back in the day, like, oh, don't do this when you do something stupid. Because I've been there, man. I've been at a party or two where I'm like, yeah, my mom ain't going to like this, man. I should probably get up out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
sure. I
get that, man. I get that. So for you, is your parents, right? Your parents were kind of what built you guys into the contracting realm. Now, Wire Monkey, you're a little bit different, right? Because they're brothers, so they came up in the grip together, right? And I'm going to get to the youngest Abbruzzese in a second, but I want to hear your story on how you got here.
Let's see. My father always refinished furniture when we were kids.
Okay.
So I always been working with my hands. So he taught me how to use a hammer, use a screwdriver, do all of that. And we decided that we wanted to be an engineer and went in that path for a little while. And kind of did, I don't even know how to say this. It's like, basically I hated the job because I had a job underground and all I had was a window looking at people's feet when they walked by. And I couldn't handle that. And I worked for my father as an engineer, and he ended up having to fire me because I was designing machinery. And in less than 2 years, I designed almost 85 machines for the glass polishing industry for glasses and making lenses and molding frames and moldings. And when I did that, I would design something, I would go down to the shop and I would build it because the guys down there, they just couldn't do it. So when you work in a union shop, as these guys know, like New York is traditionally unions, you can't, like if they say that this has got to be done by this person and you go do that, that's just a no-no. Yep. Like they're going to rip you apart. Well, that's why I got fired. So I got that, and then I went into sales. I did sales for a little while. I did... I sold copiers, I sold yellow page advertising, internet, websites. I always strive to be, not make the most money, but be number one in any job that I did.
Competitive.
And a few years later, some things happened, some tragedies in the United States. We won't go over them. But I kind of went down a rabbit hole and fell into a pit of despair. And in 2005, a friend of mine asked me to come to South Carolina and install cable. And I went down there, and that's where like the contracting started because I was a cable contractor.
Wow.
And I learned how to run wires. I learned how to do different things. Came back and went back into like corporate America and tried to get a job again, and it didn't quite work out. And I went back to school, became an aircraft mechanic. I worked for Quest Diagnostics Flight Operations in Reading. And one day my boss called me into the office and told me that I had pissed off everybody in the hangar, and you're too eager. You try to act like you know everything, and we can fire you at any time. I went home. I was living with my sister at the time, and I went home, sat at the kitchen table, incorporated Wire Monkey. Wire Monkey started as a joke between me doing one of the restaurants. And the guy said, I can find any old Wire Monkey to do that job. And I walked off the job. 2 weeks later, he called me up and said, what do you want? Finish it. So that's how Wire Monkey started. And that was in March 23rd, 2015. And I haven't kind of looked back. I worked at Quest for about 6 more months. I left there, and it's been not the best road. I'm not in like the tune with a lot of the people in the group, top contractor, but I'm starting to find my way, and sooner or later, with God's help, I'm going to find out how to be a successful contractor,
yes,
not a guy with a tax ID number.
Yes, sir. I like to hear it. Wire Monkey. Now, the last one.
Yes, sir.
We got the young Abbruzzese. Now, this is something different, right? You got 2 brothers taking over a family company, right? Which is huge because you're the older brother, correct? You're the younger brother. By how many years?
Year and a half, 18 months?
Yeah, like 18 months.
18 months. So you guys were basically in school together, right?
Yeah.
Junior, senior, or both seniors, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is that like? You see your brother, he's wanting to get into it. Were you originally always wanting to be in it, or what happened here? Like, how did you get in?
You know, it was never really spoke about. We kind of just, we just kind of always knew it was going to be a fallback option. We're very fortunate for that. We always loved, like Anthony was saying, we always loved being around Dad, asking him questions. And whenever we would ride in the truck with him, he would ask us questions back in his landscaping days. We would just be driving down the street, and he'd be like, what's the name of that tree? What's the name of that tree? What's the name of that tree? And so we always had a good working relationship with each other. And we always knew, like, you know, we wanted to work with Dad and help the family business out. And so it's basically, I mean, for me, I graduated college mid-year, went on a family ski trip with my wife's family. The day that I came back from that ski trip, it was just been full-time since. But before that, even in middle school and high school, Christmas breaks, summer breaks, whatever it was, we were working with Dad, doing whatever we could. And he just instilled a work ethic in us just by leading by example. I mean, we growing up, we really didn't have much of a relationship with him, and that's only because he was working so much. It was a very loving relationship in the family, but it was just he was working. He had to make ends meet, and so there's a lot of respect there for that. And then as we got involved full time, we were still in the beginning phases of like trying to change this and to become an actual business. And so we would sleep in the vans many nights. We would just go from one job site that it wasn't even worth going home,
Right.
to drive the 2 hours from New York City back to Long Island where we lived, and we just would sleep in the van, wake up, go to CVS, get some toothpaste, toothbrush, whatever,
Make it
and
work.
just start again. Yeah. So that's changed. We've learned how to evolve out of that, but that it needed to happen for us because it taught us a lot of good things, and you know, it really changed who we are for the better.
That's huge, man. And that's something that I want to talk to you guys about next is, like, you guys are all driven men, right?
I got a question.
What's up?
What did you go to school for?
Psychology.
Okay.
That makes
'Cause
sense,
you didn't
actually.
say that.
Oh,
I mean, you
yeah,
just
yeah,
said you went to
psychology.
school. You like put your
I
head down.
guess you could use psychology. I mean, I'm not using it in terms of financial
Sure,
gain,
you're
but
getting those people to do what you want. So you are
He's
you're like
working
the
it.
Pied Piper now.
He's working it.
So you're using that psychology
Right.
to your best advantage.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie
Bring
to
the
you.
best
use
out
it.
of people.
You can use it for anything, dog. I ain't
Yeah.
gonna lie. Listen, my degrees, I don't use them for monetary
right.
gain, but I use them on a day-to-day basis. You know what I'm saying? Communication degree, as you could tell.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing what I'm basically doing now. But that kind of leads into the next question because you guys are extremely driven. All three of you guys have obviously do a lot to get where you are now, right? You work hard, either that or you're a pure hustler of some sort, right? So for you guys, it's obviously your father, bro. But like, give me examples, and not only examples, but tell me what it was like watching that work ethic. And then for you, Wire Monkey, because we don't know who helped build the Wire Monkey, right? Because there's always somebody. Like for me, it was my uncle. Now my uncle, he wasn't a conventional, as I like to say, company owner. Let's make it very simple. He was a drug dealer, right? But with that said, man, he was really good at his craft.
yeah.
So much so that eventually in his time period in his life, he was able to create his own business, right? Clean himself up and be who he needs to be. I always tell people, bro, it's not always sometimes the smart, sometimes it's just the direction. And his direction was unfortunately in the wrong place, in the wrong frame of mind. But once he put the direction and aimed at the right target, ended up landing himself in a good space. So let's talk about the guys who inspired you. What about you? Let's start here. Let's actually start on the right this time and go back the way through.
So the guys that inspired us, like I was saying, is definitely my dad. You know, he worked a lot, struggled to make ends meet. We always had a comfortable life. It wasn't like we were, you know, financially hurting, but he was just always working. And then we're very fortunate to have a couple of uncles in our life that are successful businessmen as well, that we would always go to their houses and we saw nice things, and we always want nice things. When we were surrounded by them from a young age, we realized like this is the lifestyle we want to continue to live growing up as we get older. So that was kind of you know, motivation for us too. So we would see Dad busting his ass to work hard, and then with that we would go on family vacations. Like there was rewards from that hard work too. So I don't know if that answered the question.
No, it definitely
Yeah.
did, man, because seeing those rewards, seeing those things that come up out of it is huge. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be able to see, why is this risk paying off? Because I guarantee, bro, y'all were sleeping in trucks and whatnot, bro. So, like, that's a lot of time spent away from your daughter or your son, you know what I mean, girlfriend or wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even now, like, you work a 9 to 5, bro. I know you guys are the bosses and whatnot, but there's probably a lot of hours that you guys all spend away from family, more than you would like to at times, right? So that's important, bro, to see the reward. Because sometimes, imagine if you didn't see the reward and you didn't see Dad at the same time.
For sure.
Now you just angry, like, yo, where you at? Pull up. Like, I'm confused. You know what I mean? So I definitely understand that, bro. That makes a lot of sense. Now, you Wire Monkey, here we go again. Monkey in the middle. Here we go. Monkey in the middle. Here we go. Talk to me, Monkey. Who was your biggest role model in a sense of your hustle and your grind?
My older brother.
Now, people don't know about your older brother, but I do. So that's actually that's crazy that you said that it's your older brother. Tell me how. I'm interested.
Okay, so my brother had a paper route. My brother's 7 years older than me, so I think he was like 15. I was 8. So he told me, you're going to learn how to deliver newspapers. And I had 18 papers, 8 years old. And I go out and deliver the papers and go collect money and learned how to hustle. And then we'd always talk about, like, to become a millionaire and who's going to make it first. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So I think he kind of pushed me into being driven to make money. But as I get older now, I've kind of realized that money's not the object; it's happiness.
Talk that
So
talk.
it's not, he had it a little effed up.
Right.
So he probably pushed me to be the hustler. My father, being an engineer, taught me how to build and do and use my hands to the benefit of what I have now.
Wow.
So it's two role models. My mother was she graduated from Illinois. She was a home ec teacher. She went to France, became a chef. So she taught me how to cook. She taught me.
So you got skills.
She told me all my children will know how to cook, clean, take care of themselves, do their laundry, and take care of themselves. I don't never have to worry about them. So funny story about that is too.
I ain't gonna lie, I gotta test these cooking skills though, because if she taught you how to cook and she was a chef, I need to eat something.
France.
Yeah, she liked to cook. I mean, not the best cook, but
Oh, okay.
Listen, I remember frozen veal parmesan hockey pucks, or like pork chops that were like death. Like you could throw them things over, break a window. So
But there was food on the table.
But it's food on the table. So it's kind of funny is that my mom was kind of a role model in that, but I did lose her when I was 21 years old.
Sorry to hear that.
That happens for a reason, but it's it does affect you.
Right.
So that's who my role models are. My sister's always been there. She's not really a role model, but she's a support system for me. Like right now, she's watching my dogs, and if she sees this, she's gonna be like, I wanna hear
That's
that
what she's
shit.
supposed to do, man. That's how it be, though, man. That's cool, though, that you still consider her somewhat of a role model, too, though, because in retrospect, what she's teaching you is how to take care. You know what I mean? And as men, bro, I find it very difficult for us at times because we really don't show love all like that, especially in our technical day and age, right, where they call us the millennials before the Gen X or whatever it is along those lines, is that we all, even the people in front of us, right, like us talking about what's going on with us, I'm good, I got it, I'll figure it out, right? So you need that group of collective of people. Sometimes maybe it'd be a woman or another man tell you like, yo, it's okay to talk about it, but let's talk about it. You know what I mean? So I got respect for your sister in that sense that she taught you on how to take care of the people around you because she's taking care of you even when you're not. And you do the same thing
I feel a
vice
little
versa.
bad, Trey, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm that group ahead of us. So, I mean, you guys might be Gen X and stuff. I'm that group ahead of you.
I ain't gonna hold that against you, monkey. I ain't gonna
That's a
hold
little messed up.
Hey, I love you though, man. You way, way, way up there, but I love you, monkey. Now, lastly, the older Abbruzzese, man. Obviously, it's probably gonna be your father, like your brother said, but
Yeah.
you have a completely different perspective because your older brother. And I talk about this complex 'cause I didn't have older siblings until just last year. Like I found out that I was adopted and everything in between. So I want to know, like, as the older brother, like, did you feel it upon yourself to kind of follow dad's footsteps, or tell me about the role models and how it was to try to be a role model for brother? You know what I mean?
I think that, like, as far as like following in dad's footsteps, I never felt the pressure. He never put pressure on us to do that.
That's
He was
huge.
just like, whatever you want to do, you guys do it, and we're behind you on that. I would say that it's me and Nick are very, very similar. Like, we think pretty much the same way. We have like similar wavelengths when it comes to all the stuff that happened to us. Like, we have the same experience and the same outlook on things that happened to us. And I think the most important part was, from what Nick said, was being exposed to my dad working really hard and our uncle's success financially, because not a lot of people have the opportunity to be exposed to wealth at an early age. And we saw that, and we saw, like, from my dad how to get it and their end result from working hard. And from having those two kind of role models, we were able to understand, like, okay, like, what they have is feasible. It's not, you just have to put in the time and effort to do it. But for the first, I don't know, how long would you say, like, before we started, like, really getting traction? Like 6 years? Yeah, I would say like 6 years. We were just kind of really running our heads into the wall over and over. Like, how are we going to grow this? How is everybody finding ways to do these things that we can't do? Like we have to be in the field every single day. We can't grow the company. How is he able to do that without, having to be in the field?
Right.
And so then other role models came in, like Brian, like a bunch of other personal development people. And we took it from there, and we were like, well, what are they doing that we're not doing? And we kind of enhanced everything from there. And then from that point, we've gained a lot of traction. So it's a whole, like, when you ask role models, it's like a big, broad and sweeping question when it comes to, like, the answer, you know, because we pull influence from a lot of different people.
And I can respect that, man. That's a very, very good answer, just because, again, you could take anything from anybody, right? So let's talk about that a little bit, right? Because you guys are all involved in TCS, correct? And I know that we all came in at different times. We're all at different levels here and whatnot. But I want to know, what has TCS done for you guys, like from a mental sense, financial sense, and from an emotional sense, right? Because as we talked about before, you've heard me say it 100 times, even at the retreats, being an entrepreneur can be somewhat lonely. You know what I mean? And you're blessed enough to have your brother in arms doing this, right? So let's talk about that for a little bit. Like, what has TCS done for you guys? And we can start here with Wire Monkey, finally, Monkey in the middle, right? And then we can go around this way. We'll go older Abbruzzese, then younger Abbruzzese after.
TCS is kind of one of the biggest parts that I have, like, with being a business for yourself and not really having, like, anybody telling you how to do any of this stuff. It's given me a community that I can rely on. I can ask a question. I can call Anthony up. I can call Nick. In fact, I called him up about a flooring issue that happened at a restaurant that I was working at. You know, like, so it's a great feeling to be able to call somebody when you have an issue, when you have somebody that you need to talk to. And with Brian's kind of like the orchestrator. He's bringing people from every facet of life into like the community. So he brought you in to Top Contractor and with us too. So I mean, it's like, you know, he's teaching us that being a contractor is not a sole purpose. Like, there's a bigger purpose. There's more people, more lives that can be touched, and more things that you can do. And that's biggest thing that I have with Top Contractor. Now, everybody tells me that I'm the slow grower and I kind of haven't changed and everything, but the people that have known me for the last 2 years, like from the day I met Brian till now, he'll tell you there's a whole different person in front of him than I was the day I went in and met him in his office down the street or across.
It's literally right down there.
Yeah. So I remember going into that office, and I remember working all night and doing an overnight at a job. And he go, I'll meet you at 10 o'clock, and we didn't get home. We didn't get back to the hotel till 8 o'clock. I was left for an hour, took a shower, and came. I was kind of like, hey, how you doing? I'm on, caffeine, and So that's where really it's helped me learn how to be able to ask for help.
Ooh.
And be able to reach out to people, because as you know, as a man, you ain't supposed to be asking that thing. You ain't supposed to show that. It's like, I'm tough.
Right.
Well, you know what? That's just personal infliction of pain.
Oof.
So you gotta be able to talk, things. So
I love
that's where
that.
I'm at.
I appreciate you for being vulnerable like that, man. That means a lot. Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's a new thing for me. So
Hey,
just
listen, we
you
all.
You're
It's
from
tough.
that older generation.
Tell them again
yeah,
from
I'm
the
from
old.
that generation, them above us.
The loved ones.
Above, not
You're
yeah.
a boomer, huh?
No, I'm not a boomer. Come on now, I'm not that old.
You ain't a boomer. You wear Yeezys. You nah.
Listen, these guys got some skill and style. I mean,
A little something, something. Hey, you gotta meet Jesse, all y'all, man. He got some crazy content, some crazy kicks, man, that you guys might like, and they're all
Don't worry, we already talked about
handcrafted.
that
Yeah, I already
collaboration,
knew
right?
it was
So-
coming. I already knew it was coming.
Listen, this is a networking thing here. When you come to this office, if you do not talk to everybody, you missing.
You missed it. You missed
missed
it.
it.
Now let's talk to you, man. Let's see what's going on. Talk to me.
I would say that it's the same kind of vein that Eric had, is that it's a great community to just bounce ideas off of each other, feel the support, and also when you go down the rabbit hole of personal development and wanting to better yourself, your business, whatever, you find communities that are based in like general business, which is fine. You need that. You need to know general business knowledge in order to grow your business. But when you come across something like Top Contractor School that's literally all blue-collar guys, when you get in the room with people, there's no there's none of that. There's none of like, hey, I'm white collar, I sell supplements, I do this, I do that. It's like, no, we're all in trades and we all know each other's language. and we can all talk to each other about stuff. Like he immediately, when Eric was saying about like the union, I know that if anything that you're going to talk about the union, like if I'm a laborer and I go to pick up a broom, then I'm the only one touching that broom. And we automatically know all of that language, and it's so nice to walk into a room and be able to get that kind of comfort and support, and also have the same kind of language back and forth with each other, so you know what the other guy's talking about. You know their pain intimately because you're a contractor. So I think that that's like where I'm at with that.
I love that. That was a great answer, man. Thank you.
I like that too.
Yeah, and to piggyback off both of you guys, I mean, Brian is like another older brother to me. Like he really is just, you can go to him for anything.
Yeah, that's
so, what TCS has showed me is just like, and Brian leading by example, like he's not just a guy running a mastermind that doesn't have a business behind him. He has an actual business behind him, and we could just see what he's doing in real life and pull nuggets from that. Like, just everybody here, there's so many different walks of life that not everybody came from the construction background.
Right.
I mean, we were just talking about, your background with school and everything.
100%.
And he's like the orchestrator behind it, like conducting the symphony and just
Beethoven, as I call him.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that's something that just seeing that firsthand, that taught me a lot. Like, what, we don't have to be the best guys polishing the concrete. We just need to learn. We need to have an understanding of it for sure and know exactly what's going on, but also need to learn leadership skills that is taught through TCS, and how to lead our crews, communication skills that are taught through here, culture, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been awesome, like Anthony was saying, to have just like a group of contractors that you could just say something and you don't have to explain. Like everybody just gets it. We've been a part of some other things, but nothing as influential for us in our life as this, for sure.
Yeah, and I just want to. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry about
the
that.
one.
You're gonna speak your mind.
Yeah,
man.
I like
Let's
that.
go.
The one other thing too, for this group, and I said it at the retreat, was you always feel like you want to earn your seat within the community.
Ooh,
And
talk about it. Let's hear
that's
it.
like what we try and do. Well, we have that in the forefront of our mind all the time. Like you could
You
be.
took my seat away. God damn.
Yeah, because your phone rings too much in the middle of the talk. But when you pull up into these rooms with people, everybody's great person, everybody's successful, everybody's moving towards success, and you're like, I don't want to be. You feel like inherently, I don't want to be left behind. Not even because, like, it's not even about a money thing or anything like that. You just don't want to be left behind. You want to make sure that you're contributing to the community. So I forgot about that.
I love that. I love that. You got to contribute to the community. You just can't be a part of the community, taken from the community. You got to contribute. And that's cool, though, because Why Monkey made a valuable point is, like, when you can call that friend and you're like, yo, I'm not in this field, this ain't my thing, but I need help in this field. And you could call somebody from the TCS group, like, hey, you got something on this? Yeah, I got you. That's huge, bro. It's like having a brother, right? What did they say in the military? I got you 6, right? So with stuff like that, man, it's huge to see people that actually have each other's back.
No man left behind. Or
That one, too. It's like no man left behind as well.
Yeah.
That's another one. Something like that.
Y'all
Something
leaving
like
me
that.
behind. Come on now. You're supposed to be keeping me up.
Yeah, trying. Listen, you from that other era, remember that?
Them up there.
No, upstairs, you know what I mean? But let's talk about it, though, because that means that there has to be some sense of great leadership around, right, in order for you guys to understand what it's like to move forward and to move on in certain things, right? So let's talk leadership, okay? Because you guys all have your own companies, therefore you have your own employees. So what has TCS done for you in terms of leadership? Like, how have you improved? And what, in other ways, would you say that if there's a leader out there right now watching this, like, how would you guys help this leader grow his business? Let's start.
Yeah. I'll start. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
So, one of the hard things about, like, I guess growing the company is learning to let go of roles in order to, like, elevate to the next position. And again, leadership taught through TCS has helped us be more willing and able to let go of certain roles and everyone always thinks, like, I could do it better than that guy, I can do it faster than him, let me just do it. But you're just limiting, the potential growth of the company by doing that, and limiting job opportunities for those in your community. So, just learning the leadership skills, even like if someone does something wrong, not blowing up on that person or firing them, I know Brian has talked about some mistakes that have happened in the company, and he said, like, okay, that cost us X amount of money as a teaching lesson. They're not fired because someone else might just make that same mistake again, and it's just going to cost the company again. So just the ability to let go and let people grow themselves and develop them into leaders by giving them more responsibility.
Say that again. I like that one. He said, "Let go and let people grow." Hey,
Ooh.
put that on Twitter
Nice.
for me one time. I like
you
that
go.
one. I like that one. I was
There you go,
I was
baby.
still in that one, right? Well, continue. I'm sorry. I had to take that one in real
No, I
quick.
got you. It's just and watching. We have a couple guys that within our company that have grown tremendously over the last couple of years. I'm thinking of three individuals right off the bat.
Oh,
that
What's their names?
Rafa, Nectar, and Pastor. Those are their nicknames.
Say a shout out
Emil,
to them.
and
Say
Emil
a
too.
shout out, man.
Hold
What's
on.
up?
But those are just, Luis. We could, honestly, all of our guys
I think
are good.
everybody.
I can name
Honestly,
everybody. I don't want to
think
leave.
all of them. I can't even name 4 individuals.
We're seriously very fortunate, and again, not only from Brian, but Dad has taught us leadership skills at a young age. Like even to this day, what we learn from this group, we're able to take back to him and present ideas to him, and he's like, "Go, do it. Like I have faith in you. Like if it doesn't work out, we'll change it." So he just even having that confidence and that leadership behind us to give us the rope lets us know, like, hey, we can give these guys the rope too, because we're getting that rope from back here. So that's been big.
Kind of give me a rope to hang or what?
Well, it's either you give him enough rope to run off into imperturbity, or give him enough rope to hang himself. That's what my dad does for us. Like that's what leadership that I've seen with my dad was. When the guys used to look at him, I said, "Oh, he's not just my dad; he's their dad too."
Wow.
And like when that's how I kind of look at it now that I'm a father, I can understand that. And my dad still gives us unlimited rope to go and run to the ends of the earth. And he never makes us feel bad for making a bad decision, or if we lose money, we lost money, whatever. We'll make it back. And, that's the kind of leadership that we want to have. We'd rather not. And my dad never blew up at us. He was one of the only guys on the job site that like never blew up at his team. And well, yeah, that's more of a rarity than not.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he never did. He was always like praising people. For us though, I think he was a little bit harder on us, where we didn't get.
He had to
like,
be.
Yeah, we didn't get the praise that the guys got.
Right.
And we still get different talks that
Different.
he handles us
Different
different.
talks.
Yeah, he handles us different.
Yeah.
But I
Sorry,
like
Nick,
that, though,
that you have
because-
not been very good today, and you've lost us $1 million. I think we're going to have to go back to the woodshed
lunch
and
for
kick your ass.
Like, no lunch.
Well, there's that, but also when you think about it, like you said before, we're second generation. A lot of times, second generation runs the business into the ground.
Well, it's either when you kick it over, you either don't value the money or what's your success. And when you take that, a lot of those kids don't understand life. And a lot of people take over a business thinking it's like, cakewalk. And then what they do is my personal thing that I've learned in TCS is about being a leader. Don't be a dick. Straight up, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
And what that means is like, listen, you can either run your guys into the ground and be a dictator, and guess what? They leave. Or they get bitter. And then like when you get someone good, all they do is tell that guy, yo man, don't worry, he hasn't blown up yet. He's gonna yell at you soon. Trust me, he's gonna scream and rip your head off. Oh, and by the way, he's slow in paying. He can pay you on Friday. He's supposed to pay you on Thursday. That's what I've learned. I've learned how not to be learned how to be a person that understands. I'm trying to find this whole boss-employee relationship since, I had my man Jose. Jose was working for me. He was, I'm training him, so I really can't pay him the amount of money that he needs to support his family. So he's been working for me and a restaurant. Well, he decided a week or two ago to fire 2 people out of the kitchen. So last Friday, I got a text message saying, "Hey, Papa, I'm going to have to go full-time at the restaurant. I can't work for you. Monday will be my last day, and then, we'll figure it out." So I was a pair of monkeys. Now I'm a single monkey again. And, but he's made mistakes. And he got mad at me because, Like, he's like, just take it out of my check. I said, no, we'll figure out how to make that money up. Like, he stuck his hand through a speaker, putting it up. I mean, granted, it was a $500 speaker, so it wasn't like it was cheap.
I ain't gonna lie, I'd have been hurt, monkey. I'd have been hurt.
I was like, oh, and it happens, you know, like, don't worry, we'll figure it out. And like, you know, like, he's like, oh, it's always my fault, like, the one day. And I was like, dude, I never blamed you for anything. I said, we'll figure it out. And I think it's the understanding of talking to your employees, the people that work around you. And it's all about the community and the culture that you thrive day in. If you bring them in as like a family, and you bring them in and you want to be part of something, they will rise to the occasion to help you succeed. If you try to hide stuff like, okay, I'm not going to tell them that I'm making this much money on that, sooner or later someone's going to get the wind, and then, you know, that's going to derail your community. So being open, being honest with the people, talking to them, letting them grow, you know, giving them the attitude that they deserve. They're all adults. They're not kids. So if you're a kid, you talk one way. If you're an adult, you talk down to somebody, they get an attitude. And an attitude is never going to be a success.
Especially when you got two adults, because you never know how that's going to end. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the one thing I've learned from all three of you guys, is that the people who were, one, not only your role models, but two, have also taught you leadership, and how you base your leadership, it's off of love, right? You lead with love over leading with dictatorships. I like that. Don't be a dick, and I'm not talking about being a dickhead. I'm talking about being a dictator, right? Because there's a difference. And the reason why I say that is because, like, there's a lot of people out there right now who run companies, and they're only focused on their pockets. And because they're only focused on their pockets, they're getting half-assed results from the people that are in their collective. And another word that you guys use very often is community, right? And that's something, it takes community to raise a community. What am I talking about, right? If you don't have the right people around you teaching you the importance of community, you won't start other communities on your own. It won't happen, right? What you'll create is a bunch of acquaintances, people that you keep at a distance, people that you only use when you need them. That ends up being problems later on, right? So therefore, because you treated Jose so well, because you treat those guys so well, even if they leave, what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna tell the next person, like, yo, they're good people over there. If you need a job, go take that. Or like, yo, you seen Wire Monkey, bro? Like, I messed up. He gave me another chance. I just couldn't work there. But he might be able to give you a better chance than me. I'll take that. Because sometimes, bro, people say words don't hurt me. Words matter. Actions matter most, but words matter. See what I'm saying? Like, people don't think about that. People think sometimes, like, they say, like, speak less, listen more. 100%. Be careful on what you say, though. Because what you say gets remembered forever. So what you say to somebody, right, just because you had a bad day, you don't know the day that employee had. You don't know. You have no idea. You just know that today they're showing up to work. So therefore, because you're frustrated and you go off and you go crazy on him, right, you don't know what reaction that's going to cause. You don't know where he's going to go after that. You don't know if he's going to go back home and, God forbid, do something stupid, right, where you no longer have an employee. So to lead with love and to have that characteristic that you guys are not only learning from TCS, but your role models, bro, I commend each and every one of you because you've taken that and used it. That's the biggest thing. You used it. I cannot stand people who go to class for no reason. I had a lot of friends who went to school just to go to school, and I didn't understand it. I said, you're just coming here just to spend all this money to not do a goddamn thing.
My dad told me that I could go to school.
See that shit? See?
Yeah.
See, I knew a lot of kids like you used to get in trouble.
I got an education on going to the bar and partying, getting that chick. And some of us, you know, I don't know one, maybe one, that learned how to play pool in college. You know,
A bit of a pool shark.
So now we got a hustler talking about the real hustler. You see that, son? Who's your roommate? Tell me about who the roommate was back in the day.
Which one?
The one who helped you play pool.
Oh, nobody taught me how to play pool. Oh, you mean Mika Jimenez?
Yeah, look at you. You ain't slick. I can see. He ain't slick. He think he a car salesman.
I thought you didn't really pay attention to that.
Hey.
Just so you know, anybody who doesn't know pool, Mika Jimenez is like a 9-time world champion.
Okay.
So,
Let me tell you a story about Wire Monkey, though. And I'm going to say this, because in Vegas, he thought he was going to get me. I'm from the streets, bro. You ain't about to hustle a hustler, dog. He said, nah, I really don't play pool. I'm watching how he's looking at this pool table. I'm like, this man plays pool. Like, he don't just play.
But I stopped before that. I said, listen, I looked at him and said, listen, man, you don't have a shot. You just don't have a shot.
Like, when you know somebody knows what they're doing, like, you could even see it on the job. Like, say you got a new employee, and based on how he's just looking at the work,
For sure.
you're like, okay, he has an
Yeah.
idea. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm looking at Wire Monkey, and I'm playing. I'm like, he's like, yeah, man. He's like, I'm not that good. I'm like, Wire Monkey, I done watched you for the last 20 minutes. You done studied every single ball that went in every pocket. And then got mad about 2 of the rules, but said nothing. Like, you ain't about to hustle a hustler, why?
Well, I could have.
You see the game.
Traveled across the country doing
Hustling.
that same thing.
I seen it. Listen,
I mean, the hustling isn't. See, that's in the eyes of the beholder. See, that's what people don't understand. Is like even with the business, like they see you, and they look at you, and if you carry yourself one way, and you talk to your brother and your father one way, they see that. So in their eyes, you're a person of power and authority, but they see the kindness in you. And people don't realize that. People watch because God gave you 2 eyes and 2 ears and only 1 mouth, because you're supposed to be watching people twice as much and listening than talking.
I like that. That's going to go up. He might have just got himself a clip on the TCS channel today on that one. I got one from Abbruzzese. I need one from you coming soon, so this is going to be this one right here, and I got a strong feeling. So I'm a young contractor, right? I'm out there right now. I stopped working for a company that's in the area, right? Right now I'm taking a chance on myself. What are you telling that young entrepreneur / contractor to do in order to be successful in this lifestyle? Start here.
So as a preface to this, we did not start our company.
Which I understand.
Yeah. So I actually have, and I say this to my friends that have started companies, I have tremendous respect for you guys because I was never in that position, and I don't know that I could have had the intestinal fortitude to be able to do that. But if I had to give any kind of advice, I would say to just keep going, because I've been in the position of whether it's struggling financially or working hard and not seeing a result or whatever it is. And me and Nick always just said to each other, it's there, we're just not there yet. So we have
There's
to
yours right there. Hey, clip that up right
So
there. Make that tag.
we just have to keep going and keep doing the right thing. Like Brian says, you can't always do the right thing and get the wrong results.
Come on.
So that's what we just kept saying to each other. Just keep doing the right things. Just keep doing the right things, and eventually we'll have the result that we want for everybody, not including ourselves.
I love that, man. Thank you for that. Thank you for that testimonial. Now, little brother, it's your turn. Let's see if you got 2 for 2.
Yeah, so, there's going to be long days, sleepless nights, worrying. Nothing is guaranteed. Like, most of my friends, and this is not a knock on, they have jobs that, are salary jobs that they show up and the work is there and they get paid. Now, they could always get fired and quit or whatever, but, with doing your own thing in your own business, nothing is guaranteed. You're not guaranteed that same salary as you had last year, this year. So there's gonna be trying times. It will be worth it. Surround yourself with a good community that you could bounce ideas off of, because it can get lonely at times. Very fortunate for us, we have each other and our dad as well. But it's tough, but it's even us at our young journey so far in our early 30s. It's worth it already.
It's huge. Last one, monkey in the middle.
Well, it's funny as he's talking, and I'm over there thinking about Waterboy, where LT goes, "Now, kids, remember, don't do drugs."
Classic.
I laughed. I was like, "Oh shit!" And he looked. If I was giving somebody advice on becoming, their own entrepreneur, one of the things that I would tell you is stop running into things. Take your time, make a plan, make action. Start with an SOP, like a standard operating procedure, even if it's for yourself, even if it's a daily routine. Because the better you make that routine and you make that procedures, is going to carry over when you have somebody, they're going to follow those routines. And then it's a wash and repeat. That next person's going to, the first person's going to teach the next, and the next going to teach the next. So, like everybody wants to make lots of money. So we take every job under the sun, whether it's from the guy who's going to beat you Like, oh, this guy's gonna do a 30,000. He's gonna give me all these buildings to do, and then you do that job, and he charges short you, and he got no other work from him. Vet your customers. Get to know them. Learn whether or not they're good people or not. Look past the money. Figure out who they are, because the better the clients, the better your culture, the better your life, and the better you're gonna make money and grow. Because as you guys both know, like there's clients out there that are out to get you, and there's clients that are out to push you. And there's two different worlds, and if you get in the wrong side, all you do is circle, sleep in that van over and over, walk into that wall, and it's tough, and it's not easy to be a contractor or, you know, like an entrepreneur, because there's nights where you go home and you think to yourself like, shit, how am I gonna pay that bill? How am I gonna do that? And then, by the way, I got this coming up and $5,000 in payroll and $6,000, and I got this much. You know, there's a lot to do, and if you're gonna start your own business, start it with a plan, and get a plan and take the steps to make that plan come to fruition. Just don't be a contractor. And if you don't know how to swing a hammer, don't build a wall.
I love that. I love
Okay,
that.
I'm sorry, but like I'm in a job right now where I'm correcting, quote, the GC's work because the bar just broke.
So yeah, we can't afford that. I ain't gonna lie to you, especially if I'm paying you for the work, boy. You better figure that out.
Yeah, it's just, you know, that there's too many contractors. Like I know you know at least one guy who, oh man, I can do that floor. That's gonna be $10,000, and you guys are like, 10,000. You know, that's like a 17-day job, and it's gonna take 6 guys, and that's a $65,000 job. That guy's gonna use that guy, and then you're gonna go in there to fix that job.
Happens all the time.
And when you go to fix that job, it's a mess. That's why, like, I look at a lot of my customers, especially restaurant owners, they always want their instant gratification. They want, look, the wall's done. It's painted black. Well, you didn't put an outlet in there to put the TV up. Now we got to tear a hole in that thing. So I tell my customers, I told, like, the one guy, he gave me, I want to do a camera system. I want this. I gave him an estimate. And he went with somebody else. And I said, all right, well, that's fine. I said, but if you call me, it's $300 an hour. It's $300 for me to walk through the door. He looked at me and said nothing. 3 months ago, that guy paid me $1,000 to walk through the door and fix his phone system. And you want to see someone's implode when you go like this. Fixed. I literally unplugged the plug and plugged the unit back in, and it fixed it.
I ain't gonna lie. If I'm that person paying you, I'm sick to my stomach. I'm just letting you know that right now.
Oh, yeah, but see, you have to understand, like, this guy, I put cameras in, and he didn't pay me, you know. This,
yeah. So
it's the father of the guy that I build all the restaurants for.
wow. Well, man, listen, this has been a great Tre'd Talk. Thank you guys for coming on and hanging out with your boy Tre, man. I appreciate it for you guys doing this. I know you guys are extremely busy. Not today, this week is a good week. It's going to be a fun week. Brian got a lot of things planned and in store for you guys, so thank you for coming on Tre'd Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tre Tipton. This has been Tre'd Talk. This has been an incredible time with you guys. Stay tuned in. Come ready to have fun, because this is what we do. I'm Tre. We out.